Hello everyone and welcome back. So today's video is going to be a vampire transformation using makeup products only. Well, except for the fake blood, but I'll talk about that later. The little cream products coloured cube thing I had kind of melted, so I'm going to show you how to achieve this with actual makeup products. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I actually transformed into this vampire, then just keep watching. So first thing is, I had already put my fangs in because it took me like 20 minutes in order for the denture glue to dry, so I left them there. To start off with my base, I'm using the Maybelline Matte and Poreless with my Australis Matchmaker. I wasn't wanting to use face paint because I don't actually like face paint. I wanted foundation. I wanted it to actually look like it was still my skin, to make it look like I was naturally that pale. I also didn't blend it down my neck because I was wanting to save product. But if I was actually going out, I would probably use face paint because it dries and lasts a lot longer on my oily skin. And I would blend it all the way down my neck, possibly across my shoulders, depending on what I was wearing. But I only did my face and then like down my neck a little bit today, so it does look a little bit odd. Probably should have zoomed in on my face to make it look like I was pale, but yeah. Oh well, like I mentioned, was just trying to save product because my Maybelline foundation's running out and it's very expensive over here, so I'm just trying to make it last. But I think I got the pale look alright. I still wanted to look like I had some form of a skin tone. And then I used the Colourpop No Filter Concealer basically as an eyeshadow primer. I didn't blend any of this under my eye. I did not put anything under my eye except for a tiny bit of foundation just to make the eyeshadow under there adhere, but basically I'm not putting anything under my eyes. It looks like I've covered them up, but I actually haven't. To set under my eyes and my whole face, I'm using the Maycheer pressed powder. This actually, for some reason, made my entire face go so patchy. And because it's literally white, it made everything lighter and almost like a grey tone, I've noticed, since editing this. So it made my face go really patchy, which I think it actually helped with the, like, dead look. But I do go in and try and fix that up a little bit. As you can see, I will grab my sponge every now and then and try and go over it, but I just set my face with that. I would normally bake my face if I wanted this to last, but I didn't have time this day. I'm doing my brows with my e.l.f. brow kit, just like normal, putting the gel on and then fixing up the shape, putting the powder on, but I made them very, very bold because I think that added to the very pale look, it added to the drama of it, and I also just wanted them very bold that day. I felt like it just went with it, and I blended in very well, and it just made it look, I don't know, a bit more authentic, I guess. But I find that if I want to look more pale, make my brows darker and bolder, and that seems to work a lot. So that's what I've done. I used the Australis contour kit. This is actually a new one. This is in the shade Lighter Than Light, and I used the very grey shade today as a contour slash bronzer. I didn't want to use any warmth on my face, so this is what I used today. I used the Real Techniques brush on the lower parts of my face, and then I switched to using the Real Techniques buffing brush on the temples, just because I find that one blended out the product a little bit better on my forehead. But I was just making the shape look right, blending it out, because I didn't want it to be harsh. Even though I wanted it to be dramatic, I didn't want it to be too harsh. So there we go, I put it on my forehead. I find that added to the very grey dead look that I was supposed to be going for. I actually ended up using the highlighter that's in here, probably because I tried it for the first time and I was wanting to use everything in the palette, but I used the very light pinky shade. It doesn't come out pink, it almost comes out straight out white, but I just wanted to try it for the sake of this today. I don't know why, normally I wouldn't actually do this, but I did, so there we go. I actually set my face with a NYX matte finish setting spray because my face was looking very textured and dry. So I just put that on, let it dry, and it just settled everything down, made it look a little bit more skin-like and a little bit more appropriate. For under the eyes, I actually mixed together the colour Plum and the colour Navy from the Lorac Pro 2. Both shades are actually very matte. Now, I also did grab my Anastasia Self-Made palette and the colour Hot Chocolate, and that I ended up mixing in as well, because that gave it a little bit more of a rich, almost red purple undertone. I found the best thing is, in order to make it look realistic, is to match the colour of your under eyes. So if yours are more blue, add more blue. If yours are more red, add more red. If yours are, I don't know, have a green tinge on the edge, then add a green tinge on the edge. So basically it's up to you to customise it, to blend it out, and this is the only thing I find that didn't look as realistic, but in the end I find it all came together a little bit, so it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I probably could have done a little bit better, maybe using my actual coloured palette, but I wanted to use like proper makeup, not just the cheap crap, so yeah. I'm just going to be blending this out, making it look darker. I probably should have added a grey in with this as well, but oh well. I think, like I mentioned, this was my third time filming this video for the day, so I just wanted it to be done. My face was sore from having to wipe all the stuff off and wash it and everything. I just wanted it to be finished, so I was like, this is the final one. I'm not filming it again after this. I also added a little bit of the grey colours in my crease because I wanted that to help with the sunken in look slash slightly glam look. Don't know, I just did that for the hell of it because I wanted to. I'm used to using eyeshadow, so I put it on. Not too much though. And I used the matte black shade in the palette as well with my flat brush and smudged on some eyeliner. I actually ended up going over it, making it a lot darker than what you see here, but I edited that part out. But I only did my upper lashes at the moment. I don't know if I took it all the way in, I can't remember. I then put a little bit on my lower lashes as well and connected it together. I found that helped with the darkness around my eyes. I found that helped a lot. I added a red eyeliner over the top of everything, so the upper lash line eyeliner, my lower lash line, I put it in my waterline, my tight line, everything. That helped with the very bloodshot look in the eyes. I think this is what helped make the look. This is what made everything look a little bit more realistic, so to say. I don't know, is there any such thing as a realistic vampire, but whatever. I ended up adding a buttload of mascara just because I wanted to have it on. I couldn't stand looking at myself without it on. I sat there for like 2 minutes debating whether I should put it on, and I am glad I did because I just looked really funny without it. I'm using the Urban Decay mascara, and then I have my Australis one, which I'm just putting over the top right now, and on my lower lashes I used my Aldi one. On my lips I used the NYX Liquid Suede liquid lipstick thing in the colour Club Hopper. It's basically like a brown that's got a very slight red, almost purple undertone, and I hadn't actually used this colour before, I don't think, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity. I then had a little tube of fake blood, which is probably watered down a heck of a lot. If you didn't want to have to buy something like this, you could buy like $2 food colouring. That would work just as well, but this stuff was water based and I knew it would come out if I spilt it on something, so I deliberately used this instead. I've also had this for like 3 years because I've been meaning to do a look for 3 years. But there we go. I smudged it on my face, ended up going around with a heck of a lot, and some lipstick as well because it was starting to dry and it was looking a bit funny. So there we go, guys. That's the end of this. All the products I used will be in the description box down below. Please give it a thumbs up. I normally don't do looks like this, but I just have been wanting to do one like this for years, and it didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to, but it's near enough as good enough after the 4th try. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!